So getting back in the mindset of solving by substitution, if there is an equation that is not an x equals or a y equals, we need to solve that one. Usually in these systems, there'll be one where there's a variable by itself, and that will tell you to solve for that. That doesn't mean you can't solve for like the y next to the 5, or the x next to the 3, or the y next to the 15. You still can, but you'll end up with fraction equations, which is fine. You just have to be careful when you're substituting and solving. So we're going to solve for this x, get this x by itself by subtracting the 5y. So this will be 4 minus, 5y, or you can switch it, doesn't really matter. And we're going to put this back into the other equation where x is. So when we rewrite that new equation, or that second equation, it's going to be 3 times all of this, 4 minus 5y, plus 15y equals -1. And then solve for y. So here we get 12 minus 15y plus 15y equals -1. When we combine our like terms, -15 plus 15, they cancel. So I'm just left with this. All of my y's disappear. What type of solution would this be? No solution. So if you get an example where you start solving it and your terms cancel and the numbers don't equal each other, there's nothing else for you to do. You don't have to still find your x or y. There is no solution. So these would be parallel lines. If we wanted to, we could solve both of these, get them both in or slope-intercept form, and we would see that they both have the same slope but different y-intercepts. And that would prove that they are parallel lines. Do we have any questions on that one? Let's do number 9. Same thing. In these two equations, I see this y by itself, so that's what I'm going to solve for, get that by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2x to the other side. Just because it's a habit, I'm going to switch these two. If you left it as 18 minus 2x, that's fine. After we've solved that one, we're going to put it back into the other equation where y is. So when we rewrite that, it would be 6x plus 3 times everything here. So negative 2x plus 18 equals 54. And then we can start solving for x. 6x minus 6x plus 54 equals 54. Again, our x's or variable terms cancel, and we're just left with 54 equals 54. What type of solution would this be? Infinitely many. Oh, that was a weird M. So with no solution in infinitely many, You'll start solving it, your variable terms will disappear, and you'll either get two numbers that equal each other or two numbers that don't. But if you are solving it and you get one solution, nothing should cancel. I will say that if you don't do your math correctly, you could end up with a no solution or infinitely many solution case when you're supposed to have a one solution, or vice versa. So be very careful when you're putting things in, substituting, distributing, all of those things. For the remainder of class, you have 4 problems on this page you could do. There is a practice problem on the back you can work through. You also have one Khan Academy on solving systems with substitution due today. Yes, due tonight. And one Delta Math that's not due until Monday on solving systems with substitution. So you have plenty of things to be working on. Make sure you're working on something math related. If you have any questions with any of that, I'll be walking around. But you have this end to work.